Speed lights. Hey guys.
That was the saddest hey you guys have ever
I
heard.
know, I'm so tired.
That was like...
I need to get some food in me, you guys. I've been living off Subway sandwiches, basically.
Now turn left onto Pleasant Street.
I am low on energy right now. Real low on energy. But I should get food within me in about 50 minutes. What's popping off? Oh. Well, we are going to go to a restaurant soon and check that out. Get some food in.
Now bear left to stay on Pleasant Street.
We are going to a restaurant with a tiny Hawaiian.
Now turn left onto
It's a very
Zcoin
tiny
Street.
Hawaiian female.
Yeah, so it's crazy because a lot of places in Massachusetts, they don't have availability. So the way this thing was booked, you guys, is that it was just wherever we are. So towards the end of the day, it's like, okay, we're feeling tired, let's find a place. So that didn't steer us wrong, but I think a lot more people are traveling for whatever reason. So the places around us, it was full up. And a lot of the hotels that we found on booking.com or Priceline, what they were saying was, according to Google, they have tonight available, but you can only book tonight if you also book tomorrow. So 2 days instead of 1. And it kind of sucked. This Quality Inn over here, I called them up, their freaking phone is busy. And I was like, you know what, never mind.
That's because they're quality.
Huh?
That's because they're quality.
I was like, never mind. So,
they're in demand, Eric.
and then, of course, there's these other places like Sunset Inn and things like that. But I was like, nah. So we will see how it is. If I call a place twice and the phone keeps going to busy, it tells me it's probably not a good sign.
It tells you that they're full of people wanting to book because they're so full of quality.
Bear left onto Park
So
Street.
yeah, I just kind of thought about that way. There was this Econo Lodge that I was looking at. A lot of places are about $170. Only a few places are like 170.
Feet, turn right onto Main Street.
But most of them are like 300 up, available for tonight. So I saw this Econo Lodge that was about...
Now turn right onto Main Street.
Erica, this is a period.
$70. No, because I don't want to talk over this chick. Because I know you get angry if I talk over her, so I'm not going to talk over her.
I don't get angry, I just want to know where I'm going. But I wanted to say something, but I just don't know if the sentence ever ends.
No, but I mean, like, I'm pausing because I don't want you to blast the volume up. That's all. So that's why I'm just abruptly pausing. So Econo Lodge is about $70, and I looked at the reviews and people were saying that there were like cigarette burns in the blankets. It looked like it was dirty. Someone got bed bugs. There was like urine in the bathroom kind of thing. I was like, you know what, $70? Fuck no. Like, that is not something that I want to sleep in the night. That just sucks, right? So yeah, I was like, I don't want to go to a place and then realize, oh, okay, I'm bringing free bed bugs here too. Because yeah, you have a cost savings of maybe, close to $100. But in my opinion,
500 feet, bear left onto West Center Street.
It's not worth it. It's really not worth it. So yeah, I like to stay with places that have good reviews.
Now bear left onto West Center Street.
I'm not saying it has to be, 5-star hotel or anything like that. Just like 3-star hotel, 2-star, 3-star hotel is perfectly fine as long as I read the reviews and it's not like bed bugs or something like that. Yeah.
We finished doing 30 stores.
Bear right onto Laurel Street.
So we went to 30 stores. Actually, we went to, I think, 28, because one of them said I may or may not be here. And I was like, you know what? You're 80 miles out of the way. And if you may or may not be here, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
And then there was one that was kind of a dick. He clearly did not like me. But the rest of them went well. So I'd say 28 places. Actually, no, one of them wasn't open because of COVID. They're permanently closed. So I guess he's permanently sheltering in place. That was about 27 places or so. And it went very well. I believe that there are a lot of people who seem really motivated. There are a lot of people who seem really motivated to give their customers these sheets and to get those sheets direct you to a page that figure out who that person is and how to email them, so you don't have to do it. You just type your info in the box and it's that. And I think that a lot of them will actually show up. If not show up, at the very least email their own senator or Zoom. I think there's going to be a lot more engagement this time around than there ever was.
Yeah.
I'd like to see. I've never made this amount of effort to try and organize and whip every single repair shop in the state. But think about it. This is what most of these corporate lobbyists, they get I show up to every one of these hearings with oh, this is horrible, that lobbyist is a douche, that they made that up, blah blah blah. But like nobody shows up, nobody calls, nobody does anything because they're cynical. And the other opposition is not cynical. Maybe even they are, but they think, you know what, screw that. We're putting time in anyway. We're putting our money, we're putting money and all this stuff in because it's important. I want to see what the results are at the in this November. I want to see what happens, and if it actually winds up being a good turnout work, then like I don't want to say it just yet. But if this amount of effort doesn't result in any, I'm not even talking about change in legislation. I understand if a bill fails, but if this doesn't result in people even emailing or calling, then it's like, then at that point I just have to give up. Because at that point it means nobody gives a shit, or they give a shit, they just don't give a shit enough to do something. In which case I lack power.
But here's a question for you. So you're comparing it to if you gave people like 2 months in advance notice and you're showing up. Did you ever do it where you emailed people, where you called people 2 months in advance and then asked them to show up? Because I'm wondering if, like, I know you going in person seems more effective, but I'm wondering if you notified people in advance that they would have shown up anyway. Because some people said, yeah, I didn't know those things that were going on. So if you just simply given them advance notice in prior states, would you have had more turnout?
Repair.org supposedly does that. Supposedly, but I don't know if that is actually effective. Also, admittedly, that some of the I hate saying this because it makes me sick, but there are places that like I walked into and it's like, oh my God, you're famous. Can I take a selfie with you? There's like some power to that. Like I don't like to think of myself as a celebrity. I think of myself as a schmuck with a YouTube channel, but like 1.6 million subscribers is kind of a celebrity. And there's a lot of these people some of them that I'm visiting that have been watching me since I had 1,000 subscribers. So I think that it's different than just an email. Because like one of those people I emailed said, I don't even know if it's you. Like, I don't know if I'm getting spammed. I don't even know if this is real. And then I show up and it's like, oh my God, it's really you. Wow. Yeah, I'll show up.
Yeah, but you could have said, call my business phone and I'll,
For sure, that is a cheaper and more efficient way because you're not paying for a hotel.
That's a little more efficient.
Yeah, it's more efficient. You're not traveling. You're not paying for a hotel. But I don't think it's the same. I don't think it gives them the same, like, wow, this guy actually showed up to my store kind of thing. And it's one thing if I was an unknown salesman, but I think having the 1.6 million subscribers, being someone that they watch, again, some of these people, one of them, either A, he doesn't watch my stuff, or B, he watches my stuff and he absolutely hates me for it. Like, fuck that. But like the rest of them, there were a lot of them that responded really well. And I think that the likelihood of getting someone, like just snapping someone out of their, it's useless to do anything cynicism, I think there may be some power to doing it in person. Now, granted, I could try and do a blind test to figure out if that's the case, and then figure out 1 or 2 years from now what worked better, to email and phone or in person. But I want to do what I think is going to be the absolute most effective thing immediately, rather than wait to do a blind test of it.
No, I'm not saying wait 1 or 2 years. I'm saying the next stage, just call them up and then, do it that way. Email them and call them up and see how the turnout is compared to this time. And then that could be your benchmark. Okay, Massachusetts, we went to all these stores and this was the turnout, versus you call them up, you email them, you send them stuff in the mail, and if there's significantly far less turnout, then yeah, you could say, well, it may be because I didn't go there in person, and then you can base your actions based on that result. Because I know for certain things, people are like,
what a masshole.
Hey,
you're going 5 miles an hour over the speed limit.
I know for certain things, people would say like, oh, nobody told me that this event was going on, so I didn't show up. Like, for instance, Maine, for instance, there were a few people who people. It was just people who were religious viewers of your channel. In fact, I don't even think there was a big turnout for me because it was kind of last minute when you said, oh, by the way, I'm showing up in like a couple days or something like that.
I still want to do this thing and see, I want to see how this works. Around the
Do a comparison.
a big part of this is Erica doesn't want to get dragged around the country in a car.
No, but
Which is totally understandable.
But what I'm saying is that if you should see and say, like, does this actually, what's the difference? Because then people will say, like, oh, do you need to do it? Versus, does it make a big difference or not? That's my thinking about it.
Also, there's some of the C4 money that I can't use for lobbying because it was given in certain states because it came from Canada. Like, I'm pretty sure the money Linus gave me, according to my law, in certain states, I can't use that for lobbying. So using it for this travel thing, if it makes it mildly more effective, it's worth it. Poor Oreo.
Yeah, I think that it was just too late notice for Maine. I think people would have definitely shown up, but I remember even just going to Maine was so last minute. I remember only hearing about it like maybe 5 days before the hearing. And then it was shared, and then, yeah, there were a few people. But if you had an organized effort, hey, call all the repair shops, email the repair shops, send flyers to all the repair shops personally, I wonder how that turnout would have been. I would actually say that I think it would have been significantly higher.
There's a reason lobbyists travel around the country. Aren't you a lobbyist? Yes and no. Yes and no. I am a hirer of lobbyists. And in some cases, I don't hire the lobbyist. I pay a firm like US Perg that then hires the lobbyist. Which is almost the same thing, kind of. Like in one state, in Illinois, a Repair Preservation Group Action Fund is going to register and then hire a lobbyist. But in some other states, like Washington and so on, I made a donation to US Perg, who's been working with me on this. People like Nathan Proctor, who is instrumental in Right to Repair and also keeping me from knocking anonymous individual out the other evening. But he's a good guy. His organization is working with. It lacks the reason. He's done a lot of good organizing work. He just lacked the finances to be able to hire lobbyists in certain states. So we're working on that. And
what exactly do the lobbyists do?
It's kind of like the popular kid in high school that goes around and gets people to talk to each other. And everybody that I've met that's a lobbyist, it just seems like they were the popular kid in high school that figures out why Karen doesn't want to go out with Chris, and what would it take for Karen to consider going on a date with Chris. What would if Karen dislikes Chris, what would Chris have to do for Karen to like him? Or if they did, it's like the legal version of that. It really does seem like the legal version of that. And then that's the first part. The first part is essentially building coalitions in the legislature to get something done. And the second part of it is, in my opinion, outright bribery, which I don't have the money for the outright bribery type of lobbyist. That's really that's not something that I can do. But I can afford the type of lobbying where, okay, you figure out which legislators would get on board, what legislators have campaigns around certain issues that would really benefit from them signing this bill, so that it would help them get, all that type of figuring out why it's not getting passed in a certain area, and then putting pressure in those areas, like all that kind of stuff. Like in Minnesota, Gary Doms was stopping it from getting passed. Because that dude, who was the head of the Consumer Protection Committee, just so happened to have owned a car dealership. Because that's who you want as the head of your Consumer Protection Committee. A guy that owned an effing car dealership. So now I'd really kind of like to figure out, is there an alternative way to get this done in that state? I'm also starting to recognize that supporting the farmers in theirs, even if it doesn't mention consumer electronics, is actually an important thing to do, because that gets you one step closer to eventually getting them to recognize that that consumer electronics is important as well. So we may be supporting some of the farm bills, even though I don't know a thing about farming. I'm from Brooklyn. We don't have trees.
I got a question.
We have weed.
Can you take out advertisements on like a cheaper form of advertisement around the country. Not TV, because I know TV will cost an arm and a leg. Can you actually do TV? How much would TV cost?
I don't know. I don't know if anybody watches TV. I saw what TV cost. Like that's what the hickeys were talking about. With their, like they spent $18 million on television ads.
Oh, jeez.
They spent $18 million on TV ads for the ballot campaign in Massachusetts.
How about Facebook ads? How much are they?
Much cheaper.
You can't do Facebook ads.
There's other ways to get things done. Again, I don't think I have the... In certain areas, targeted ads at certain times will make sense, but doing a general... I don't know about a general campaign. What are you doing?
Because I remember I was hearing about a certain presidential campaign, and they did it very cheaply. I mean, yes, they spent millions of dollars, but there was a lot of...
higher budget than I did.
Yeah, but they had a staff of like 20 people, and yes, there were some ads, but I saw a lot of things floating around on YouTube. I saw some things floating on Facebook, and I'm just kind of wondering how far Facebook ads would get to.
Look at me, I'm a driver.
I almost want to ask that person. I don't think that person who did, this president's, the former president's ads. I just want to say, like,
Just
what would
say,
you recommend?
Mr. Trumper.
Yeah, Trump's social media campaign manager. That guy. He's supposed to be really like a genius at this stuff, and I'm wondering like what he would recommend for something like this, but a low budget version of it. What is a way to get the message across without spending millions and millions of dollars?
I love the fact that going down a hill recharges my car.
I think it has to be. You have to have people get involved for sure. Masses of people, but how do you do that? Because I know, like, for instance, right, Trump, he didn't go to every single town and every single city, but yes, he had a TV presence. He went to certain cities and that was it. He didn't travel to every city in the United States.
I want every repair shop to feel some level of investment in this. I want to see how many I can reach out. It's such a cool thing that you can actually see your quote gas tank go up as you go down a hill. God bless regenerative braking. It's a very cool toy.
In 1 mile, turn right to stay on East Street.
Random markets.
It would likely pay greater dividends for myself in my life if instead of doing this whole travel the country and every single repair shop shit, I just spent that time improving my own business. But I think this is where I'll have a greater effect on the world.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So John says, Erica, what you need is something catchy. Get repair shops with literature. Eventually they'll be your marketing campaign. So John, my strategy would be this. Call the repair shops, email the repair shops. Even if they don't reply to you, send them literature with a letter that's signed and saying, hey, we could really use your help to spread the word for right to repair. And then, you give them the pamphlets, you give them a letter, and then you say, hey, if you have any questions, feel free to contact us back, kind of thing. And then this is, of course, the YouTube channel, this is Lewis's channel, and things like that. I think that would be a much better way to approach it, because you spend maybe 3 days working, compiling all this stuff, drop it off at the post office. At least, right, if people say, hey, I can't meet up with you, if they have any questions, they can contact you. They can put the flyers out. That's really important. And then add the little appointment card as well.
And Jerry's.
If you have that approach, you save a lot of time. And then you can focus more, like I would do it, on some sort of ad. I would actually make this a bigger social media campaign.
Why does this think that... No, you piece of... Never listen to the Tesla map, ever.
Small posters, that sort of stuff, yeah. Who opens USPS junk mail? Nobody. This ain't USPS junk mail. This is a
I throw away my
pamphlet.
mail before I even look at it. And
That's
Eric has
what
to
you
yell
do.
at me. Yeah, but that's what 99% of America does.
Yeah, and you know what happened? You don't check your mail. That's why
Regardless of
sometimes.
that, Erica, 99% of America does
No,
it.
they don't. No,
Yep,
they don't.
100%.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
How many people in chat throw away most of their mail? Just like they look at it for half a second. That's not a bill that matters to me. This goes in the trash.
Oh, I guarantee.
Let's have a vote. Yes, if it goes in the trash, and if you actually go through every single thing, and in detail read everything.
In 500 feet,
What do we got? What do we got?
turn left onto First Street.
I do what? What the fuck does I do mean? Y or N? Yes or no question?
I check my mail.
I don't know what that means.
No, what you guys are thinking about is you guys are thinking about a postcard. What I'm not talking about is a postcard. I'm
Then turn
talking
left onto
about
First Street.
a thick packet of paper that says right to repair or support right to repair on the front. So when they get it, they already know it's right to repair stuff. And like there's a sticker on top that says, you know, right to repair information or help us support right to repair. And then because you've already called them, because you've already emailed them, they know that information is coming to them. Exactly. So if they know it's going to come to them, then yeah. Because here's the thing. Who are you to say, like, you give them a packet of information, they might just go ahead and just throw it in the trash right after you leave. No. You know what? You got people here who just make these assumptions. I would rather go for it rather than just say, I'm not even going to try. I'd rather make these pamphlet packets, do all that, do all the steps, and then say, let's see how this turns out. Yeah, if you're a repair shop, you should know what right to repair is. If you've already been contacted on the phone and emailed, and you said, yes, I love to support right to repair. Oh, okay, we're going to send you a packet of information in the mail. We would really appreciate if you would put it out for your customers to read. If they say, yeah, you know, I'll keep a lookout for the, then they're going to see this packet that says, help support right to repair in, let's say, Massachusetts. They're not going to throw it away because they're going to say, this is the stuff.
They won't throw it away. The receptionist will throw it away.
Yeah, so John, this is what I was saying. I don't give a fuck if it's unsolicited at this point. You know what the thing is? Like, if you don't do anything, they're not going to be aware about it.
Eric with the Weinstein mentality there.
No. Because here's the thing, right? You call them up, they say okay, right? Then you send it to them. But if they don't respond to you at all, just send it anyway. You have nothing to lose. You think about all those people who send you this whole, oh, will you donate to the ASPCA? Here's a dime. Yeah, you could say everybody throws it away, but they make millions of dollars in donations because of that. There's a reason why people were doing that. Organizations do it because it works. Yeah, you might have 90% of people maybe throw it away, but maybe you have 10% of people doing it. And that's better than nothing because people have awareness. For me, when I get junk mail, I'll look through it really quickly. I'll open it up, glance at it, and then I'll toss it. I'm not one of those people who just say, oh, well, I'm not going to even open it, because what if the mail is something important?
I miss my kitty. I miss my kitty so much.
Yeah, it's not going to be pre-sorted standard. It's going to be priority mail. No. It's not a,
stuck on this one
it's
idea.
not a postcard. People think I'm just going to send a postcard. No, it's going to be a packet of papers in a priority mail envelope with something that says support right to repair in the front.
I know, and I think what they're saying is they would throw that out anyway.
No, what they're saying is that they think it's pre-sorted standard.
Erica is so hopeful. Erica is a very hopeful.
I'd rather try for it and fail.
Vroom. My car goes vroom. It goes vroom silently. It's like a coil whine. But it's the coil whine version of vroom. I love hearing this car coil whine. Reminds me of a Dell XPS from 2016 when you try to run Prime 95 on it.
Yeah, because what I realize is there's a lot of pessimistic people in chat. And you know what? If you go through life being pessimistic and not even trying things, then you're going to find that things aren't going to change. You might as well try something rather than nothing.
I'm curious how this approach will work.
My approach? I think my approach
That's
would be quite good.
I mean, you're biased.
No, I think it would work quite good. It's definitely better than being all like, oh yeah, well I better not send it because there's 0 chance.
I prefer sexy Erica and Lewis to show up at my shop first. That until OnlyFans site. What the? Label the envelope herpes results.
Calculate how much that will cost to send to that. So
only in Lowell, Massachusetts.
Sorry, there's one flaw in your thinking. You're not factoring in, right? You're factoring about the $8 postage. That's hacking peanuts. That's like nothing when you compare.
That's peanuts.
That's comparing. That's nothing. That's like $2 when you think about all the other costs, right? Because you have to think like, okay, well, you send $8 a packet. How much time do you save?
Peanuts. What am I gonna do with peanuts? Eat them like any other elephant.
No, but it's
the
like
Honeymooners.
It's small money.
Anybody in the chat watch the Honeymooners? Anybody remember that? Peanuts. What am I gonna do with peanuts? Eat them like any other elephant. Oh, I love that line. Ralph Cramden was referring to peanuts as in the tiny amount of money that he would get off of Alice's idea versus his own grandiose idea that it's not gonna actually work. Like all of his get-rich schemes never worked.
But yeah, let's just talk about it, okay? So
talk about what?
No, like
just
some people are talking about cost, right?
Yeah, you call them up, you ask if they're interested in right to repair, and you send them promotional materials.
No, but the cost of that, some people are saying, well, it might cost like $8 to send each, right? You send 12 of them, that's $96. That's not a big deal. Hotel costs more than $96. So you're able to target a lot of stores. And it'll still come out cheaper than a hotel at peak rate.
Fuck your high beams. Ow. This road is not dark enough to require high beams. Turn that shit off. I need to have like a Mr. Plow in front of my car when I'm driving down these roads. So when they have their high beams on and I plow into them, it just like their car gets fucked and not mine. I want to get a giant Mr. Plow set up in the front of my car.
Right, yeah. I think today I'm going to try and look up what the Trump campaign did. I'm kind of curious. It was a very effective strategy.
Look, it's a meme car in front of the house. Parked it right in front of all the rocks. A meme car. That's an actual meme.
Erica is getting caught up in the cost of everything. She'd rather stay at Roach Motels. No, John. I do not want to stay at a Roach Motel.
That's the opposite. Why? Actually, John is probably, he doesn't mean that seriously. I think he's just trolling you. Wow. John is one of the smarter contributors. He's always been one of the smarter, kinder, nicer, and more intelligent contributors. So I think he's trolling. He knows that you hate the Roach Motels. He's trolling this shit. But it's loving trolling, I imagine. It's pop trolling. Like when you troll me. You're talking about John DeComo?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Not all chat is cancer, just most of it.
Ooh, crispy cone, soft serve ice cream.
No ice cream for you, Erica.
Sammy.
No ice cream? Erica? No. She was supposed to have 0 cookies yesterday.
You know what I miss? I miss having a really good steak.
Whoa, get the fuck out of here.
I've not had a nice steak in a real long time.
You had steak like 2 days ago in a burrito.
No, that's Subway. I've had so much Subway.
No, at that restaurant we went to the night after your stalker. You had a steak. Remember? You had a piece of a steak burrito at the Mexican place? But they had the really shitty California burrito that has no guacamole or fries. By the way, what's the point of a California burrito if it doesn't have fries? That's the whole point of a California burrito.
You talking about the place that we went to, the place that we were going there really late at night?
Yeah,
I didn't have a steak. I had chili. It was a chili taco salad. You had the vegetable quesadilla with some kind of thing.
Why tailgating? Not very nice of you.
But yeah, I remember I had this one really good steak burrito, but still, it wasn't a nice, buttery, garlic steak. Oh, this said so much.
We did an actual tour of the state of Massachusetts. From Dartmouth to Boston to Salem to Northampton to Pittsfield?
Yeah, something
We
like
did a
that.
tour of the entire fucking state, man. We did a tour of the whole state.
And I can tell you guys, Subway is very consistent.
And so is the housing in Massachusetts. It's universally expensive and 400 years old.
No, he's not vegan anymore. He eats chicken and beef.
Massachusetts is universally a ripoff.
Yeah.
At least the housing. Then again, the housing everywhere is universally a ripoff now.
Actually, I was kind of surprised because there's like such limited food choices around here. Maybe it's just me. I was kind of thinking like some of the areas we're in, I thought it was going to be cheaper, and I look at it, it's like freaking New York pricing. And I'm like, oh, New York pricing, but not New York selection, which kind of blows. Because like you look at it and you're like, I don't feel like eating that, and it's expensive. What else do I have left to eat? Subway. No, Subway is like $7.99 for a wrap. And it's not, Subway's not bad, but it's just when you keep eating Subway every day, it just gets kind of like, you can already taste how the wrap tastes like.
It's a safe choice, man, in the middle of nowhere. You can't trust those small town diners.
I see more Subways than I see McDonald's.
Small town diners scare me.
Why? What's bad about a small town? Oh yeah, you didn't want to go to...
Garfield comics will tell you all you need to know about.
No, what was that one place you did not want to go to? Pancake House or something like that?
Waffle House.
Waffle House. Yeah, he refused to eat at Waffle House.
That place was absolute garbage.
And he calls me high maintenance. Steve was eating there, I think.
You are high maintenance.
I was eating there. And
I mean, you're not high maintenance about what you put into your body, but what you surround your body with, you're very high maintenance. I will only be surrounded by the most luxurious hotels.
No.
As I eat my fucking cookie.
What luxurious hotel? The Link Las Vegas is not known as a luxurious hotel. What else? I like staying at Holiday Inn. That's not a luxury hotel. What else?
What the hell is this? Over the river and through the woods, to grandmother's house we go. Weird to be by a place that's so far away from an interstate highway. Like to actually have a 20 or 30 mile trip down some random little road is very interesting to me.
No.
I'm not used to this.
I don't get car sick if it's not in hold mode. So before he had it in hold mode for the car, oh my gosh, I felt so nauseous.
Do you feel car sick in this ride?
No.
How car sick on a scale of 1 to 10?
Maybe like 2 or 3.
Would you please
sometimes...
go into the settings for me, Miss Erica?
Huh?
Would you go into the settings for me? Would you click? Oh no. Yeah, okay. This is like the light switch thing.
I'm sorry.
Hit driving.
Driving? Yeah, you're on roll. Yeah.
There you go. See? And you.
Because hold is a lot more aggressive. I can't put my finger on it, but when it goes, it just kind of like stop, start, stop, start, stop, start. But also keep in mind, I also have motion sickness patches behind my ear. So I always make sure that I have motion sickness patches. And then sometimes like my head starts hurting, so then I just get tired. Like I have a headache in the back of my head. I can't just, it's like at the back of my head, it just feels like, or between my ears sometimes.
This really looks like where a serial killer dumps bodies. But look at this. Look at this.
Yeah,
this looks like where a serial killer is going to dump you. This is where an anonymous individual probably finds people on the side of the road.
Stop that.
No, seriously, look at this. Look at that. Look at that little house with the little, like, the fucking wood off on the side. The little house that looks like it's made of wood logs. This looks like where an anonymous individual burns his victims or something.
Stop that, yeah.
No, seriously, look at this place.
Stop that.
This is freaky. You can't see more than 3 feet in front of you. Here I could understand if somebody wanted to put their high beams on. But I still don't have my high beams on because I don't want to blind people that are coming by. I just use my...
I miss my handsome. You know, I never thought I would say it, but I actually was waking up and seeing that little fat cat Even though sometimes, a lot of the times I get his back and Lewis
That
gets
fat
his
cat
balls.
only sleeps there if I'm there. If I'm not there, he's like, no.
Yeah, he really loves Lewis.
He thinks that Erica killed me. When
I
leave,
really
when
think
I'm
he
not
thought I
there,
killed him.
he thinks that Erica murdered me, and he's like, I'm not staying with that lady.
I'm like, Oreo, come over here.
Holy crap, the speed limit on this road went up by 10 miles an hour when you get to the point that it's darker. This is funny. So before it was 45 miles an hour. Now it's 55. But before, there was more lighting and less winding turns. Now, there's more winding turns, there's less light, and you get a higher speed limit. This is cool. I love the logic here. Status logic. This is a freaky fucking road, man. I mean, it really... The video with the shitty resolution and YouTube compression after it uploads it at 1 megabit per second and is encoding it off of a shitty Android phone, it doesn't do justice to what I see in front of me. Like there's this weird line, this weird kind of indentation going throughout the road. The grass is kind of half dead on the sides of it. It's just, even though it's not even close to the middle of fall yet. You got these little wood houses on the side of the road, look like or these shingle shacks that are in kind of interesting states of disrepair. It's a fucking weird road.
Yeah. You know what's surreal to me? Maybe because I'm just such a city girl. I can't imagine like living in an area where you drive 15 minutes and you don't have a place to eat.
You probably do, it's just not on this road.
It's like freaking surreal.
It's not on this road most likely, but yeah, this part of Massachusetts is very, very out there.
You remember like that time we went to Jessa's?
But it's so peaceful and so nice.
We went to Jessa's and there was like one bakery 6 miles away, and I'm like, 60 miles? Are you kidding me?
How much diversity of cookie do you require?
No, but it's like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna eat at one bakery. It's like, no,
Yeah,
they don't even have that much
they have
of a
more than
selection.
one thing at one
Yeah, but I could eat the whole thing in like 1 week. I mean, I like having different bakeries. I like having different stores, not just like one bakery in a 6 mile radius kind of thing. Like I like having shopping malls. Or if I want
I
to
hate two-way roads.
if I want to
really
eat pretzel maker, I can. If I want to have like a sushi, if I want to go to a sushi restaurant, I can go there. If I want to eat pho or something, I can eat that. If I want to eat fried chicken, I can eat that too. All in one nice shopping mall location. But
Can you remind me to clean the camera on the right door
yeah, sure.
when I'm out of the car?
Didn't you grow up? No, well, I mean, everything's kind of like everything is close by. So like if I walk 15 minutes, by walking now, I can find places to eat, places to shop, because I live in central Honolulu. So yeah, it's like it's very close to everything.
What is that guy taking pictures of?
Kind of like being in New
I think
York.
that guy's camera was pointing into somebody's window.
Oh.
What the fuck are you taking pictures of out here? Oh man, that's... I just saw a peeping Tom.
See how that's stuff?
Look at the fog,
Minimalism.
Erica. Do you see the fog?
Yeah. No, I don't believe in minimalism with my food.
Look at the
choices.
fog. I feel like I'm driving through the mist from Final Fantasy
Oh,
IX.
for fuck's
Can you see
sake.
that on screen? Oh, this is. I wish I could show you this on
Creepy.
screen. No, seriously, do you see it, Erica?
Yeah, I see it.
This is the mist. We're gonna start seeing monsters soon.
Oh shit.
You're gonna start hearing dun 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 dun.
No, I thought you were gonna be like the mist as in the Stephen King movie.
No, mist as in the stuff that black mages are made out of in Final Fantasy IX. Hello. How are you, Teresa? Lovely to see you here this evening.
Food.
How is Australia? Have they let you guys out of your houses yet? I saw Paul Daniel sent me a board view file of a new MacBook that I think he or someone he knew made from scratch. That lockdown shit is working. I'm all for them continuing to imprison every person in the country of Australia if it means that I continue to get board views. If someone actually now has the time because they're so bored while they're sitting at home to create a board view from scratch for me, what the fuck? Bro, high beams. Turn that shit off. Oh, come on, you cunt. You cunt. Okay, this person doesn't have it on. Yeah. See, look, my high beams have been off this entire trip.
You don't need fucking high beams.
I don't turn them on unless I feel like I also, admittedly, I have better vision than most people. I have 2013 vision, and I can see in very low light
His
conditions.
vision is better than mine, and I paid $4,000 for mine.
I what corrosion? I don't see it, and they'd be in the microscope, and I would see the corrosion and say it's right there, above you 1950. And go, what do you?
Yeah.
But most people don't have my vision. But
Wait till what happens if Lewis starts losing his vision. Imagine that day.
yeah, I'm gonna lose my hair way before I lose my vision.
I don't know about that.
I love my vision for a long time because I exercise it regularly.
What do you mean you exercise
I
regularly?
exercise it
How
regularly.
do you exercise your vision?
By looking for corrosion over people.
Walking around and things like that. Like, it may sound funny, but actually it's like, I actually feel really bad for him. Seriously, I do. I feel bad for him because it's like there's something going on where I think it's difficult